The NBA Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Underdog. Underdog's hooking up new customers. Play just $5. Get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code NBA SGPN. Yes, sir. We are finally back. Especially finally for, those that ain't loyal and didn't rock with us for the whole WNBA season. This is brand new to you, but if you were here with WNBA, I mean, we've been going this entire time. Hoops never stops around here. You know me, know the voice of the guy. It's me, really real, feeling real. Terrell Furman Jr. here at your service.
Bing bang.
All right. Let's get into it. First one. That's the first one of the season. We're going to hear a bunch of that this season. Just going to let you know. Somebody tell the streets we back up. Scott Studio Reichel. Scott, what's going on?
Scotty, beat me up.
Surprise.
How about if you sweep it up?
Oh wait, whoops. That's the wrong one. I meant to play
Whoa.
the other sweeping one. I meant to play the other sweeping one. My bad.
Oh my gosh. You're what horrible.
I got excited by sweep, but yeah, I was trying to do a crossover thing because I did sweep the last WNBA pod episode and I didn't have time to actually recap it. So yeah, I ended the WNBA season on a high note, ended up sweeping with the over, and I had Bonner over 7.5 rebounds, and I think she had a double-double. So yeah, WNBA went well. I think I went 7-1 in my 8 lock and dog picks during the finals. Yep. So 3 sweeps and a 1-1. We take. Let's carry it over into NBA. But either way, looking forward to it. Should be fun. Of course, this is the first episode of the preseason, I'd say, discussion. We're going to be doing the win totals for the Eastern Conference. Western Conference is tomorrow, but a lot of teams. Let's get into it.
Yeah, a lot of teams. And I mean, we don't really have time to dilly-dally. We got a lot to get through over the next week. 21st, Scott. NBA action is back on NBC. I believe. Isn't that the first night on NBC?
I believe so.
We'll see what all that looks like. Can't wait to hear Kyle Lowry's take on his own team.
That theme song better slap. That's all I'm saying.
NHL is back, and the Hockey Gambling Podcast is back as well. Join Ryan and Joel as they break down the biggest game storylines and awards, best bets, all of that throughout the NHL season. So let it slide. Wow. Do you slide?
In theory, you can, but it was kind of forced.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that, guys. I think we got to redo this one. Let it slide. Yeah, I didn't like that one. All right. Let's talk about a number of things that I don't like, especially a lot of teams in the Eastern Conference, man. Like, this looks like it's going to be really brutal. Ups, downs. Some teams are up, some teams are down. Where do we want to start, Scott? Pick a division, any division. I'll leave it up to you, actually.
We'll go Southeast. Just first a brief point, though. I know you mentioned that some teams you might not be thrilled with. The underlying theme here is injuries. It's the underlying theme. A bunch of injuries.
So I'm glad you mentioned it because I was talking to a buddy of mine and I was saying, I'm like, dog, it seems like there are more injuries this preseason than any other season. Like every time I get on the app, I'm getting a notification of Underdog. Shout out Underdog Fantasy. Make sure you use that promo code NBA SGPN. And it's a new player that's up there. Somebody new out for 2 to 4 weeks, 2 to 4 months, all of this stuff. Like,
yeah.
What's going on in the NBA?
We've had a couple of new ones being added over the last few weeks. Of course, you had some completely serious injuries that happened last year in the playoffs. Tatum, Halliburton, etc. That carries over into this season too. So a lot of injuries. That might be why you see some teams that had massive win totals last year, and now the totals are a lot smaller. It's because you're looking at a lot of injuries that they're going to overcome.
All right, let's work our way from bottom to top of the Southeast Division, kicking things off with the lowly Washington Wizards, who have a win total of 20.5 here. Oh, dear Lord, Scott. I mean, the land of misfit toys every year gets a new misfit toy to come to the team. There's no originality with this Wizards team at all. They do the same thing every year. Oh, you don't want X player? Yeah, we'll take him. Welcome in CJ McCollum. Last year it was Chris Middleton. what was it, year before that, 2 years before that, it was Jordan Poole.
Yeah, Middleton's still there.
But like, still, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Whenever somebody says Cam Whitmore on the team now. Whenever somebody says we don't want this guy, the Wizards are like, yeah, we'll take him for sure, for sure. Marcus Smart, for sure. Like this is what they do every year. What's going to be different? What's going to be different about this Wizards team this year, Scott? What?
Oh, what's different is they got rid of Marcus Smart. No, I feel like the question here is how good do you think the young talent actually is? Because you're looking at Bob Carrington, who I thought was pretty good last year. You're looking at, for example, Sarr, who I think most people are actually kind of impressed with last season. Thought the shooting numbers weren't that great, but I thought he did look pretty sharp defensively. They have young talent. So if the argument is you think that they might be able to perform surprisingly decent, maybe win 20 games and change in such a bad Eastern Conference, maybe they can sneak over. The question is, you think the team wants to sneak over? Are they basically tanking again? Because they don't have much star power. They got rid of Poole. They ended up flipping him for McCollum. So it's kind of the same team. They got 18 games last year. I thought they were going to be terrible last year. The under was one of my locks. I don't feel that great about it this season. I think they can sneak over. I'm not saying they're going to, but I think this number feels about right. But I have some teams that I think could be worse than them, personally, based on the actual motivations of the franchises. The Wizards could be feisty, but I do think I'll go with the under again. It's going to be close, though. I got them at like 19.
Yeah, I'm good. I don't believe in this team. They first have to I don't even think they have an identity, and they got to figure a way to make this all work. And it seems like this Wizards team is just going to continue to do what they always do, which is lose a bunch of basketball games. And if they even keep all of this group healthy, and that's not even 100% guaranteed here.
Not even to mention the fact that you might see them tanking back half of the season because they're way out of it.
And then one of their best players that I feel like is one of their best players, he's out. Yeah. And that's Cole Bali. Yeah, bro, I'm good. Under.
That was kind of what made me choose too, because I'm a big Cole Bali guy.
All right, Charlotte, North Carolina, Queen City. Shout out to the 4. They got a win total of 26.5 this season. Oh, man. I mean, all right. So LaMelo's still leading the team here. Who we bring in? Spencer Dinwiddie, Colin Sexton is here.
Brandon Miller's healthy again, so that counts.
That's really what it was down the stretch for a lot of this squad. It was a lot of everybody being unhealthy. LaMelo's always unhealthy. That's nothing new. Con Knipple. Show him some. I've seen some moments where I'm like, I actually really like Con. With that being said, is he the most mature person on this team? Potentially. Because maybe it's Grant Williams if you want to I mean, gosh, who is the vet on this team that's just like going to carry this team through the dark times of the season? Like,
I would say Dinwiddie, but his contract might be in crypto, so it might be Moody throughout the entire season. So I don't really know. But
dude, like, I want this Charlotte team to be better than a 26. I want them to get back to being a playing team. But
yeah, so do I. But I feel like
there's
a certain amount of immaturity on this team, mainly by LaMelo, which questions what the ceiling of this team should be. Because LaMelo is going to try to get he led the league in shots last year. Injuries played a factor, but I still don't think he's a winning player.
I mean, he's never going to stay healthy. That's
correct. Well, besides the health part, the health part's true too. But I think when he actually plays, he doesn't play much defense. He takes a lot of crappy shots, and he is pretty, I'd say, underwhelming based on player growth. I feel like he's been kind of the same player his entire career. So I think the bench is not bad. With Dinwiddie, with Sexton, with, if you want to throw in Cockbrenner from Creighton as a backup center, you can mention him too. I mean, they have some pieces who I think actually can give you a
but who's actually going to break the rotation?
No, that's my point, though, Zell. You're looking at what I think could be an okay 7-8 man rotation for what should be a bottom feeder in the East. But I still like the under, because I think LaMelo is going to care about his stats more than winning. And I think injuries will play a factor. We'll see what Brandon Miller does this season. I think a lot of people think he can be a potential star in the league. I don't see that high of an upside, but I think he's a solid player in general. I'm going to go under. I just think that this team lacks maturity, and maybe bringing Dinwiddie and company might help with that. Sexton, who also gets hurt a lot. I could see this team being in the infirmary after a month and a half. And at that point, they're going to lose like 12 in a row.
But oh, whoa. How do I sound? I feel like my
yeah, you're good. Now you're back.
I'm back. Okay, cool. Okay, I hear you say that. And because I'm like, they literally built this team for injuries. I mean, you're going Kalkbrenner, Salon, even though he's not the best Salon in his family, Connington, Trey Mann. Like, they're built so far down that they can play players when the starters inevitably get injured.
Correct, but the problem is when they're fully healthy, the high-end part isn't there.
Yeah, and it's so... I want Charlotte to be good. All right,
they could sneak over maybe and get to like 30, but...
Can they really?
If they stay relatively healthy, I think they have enough talent in a bad Eastern Conference to maybe steal some games here or there. The division also might not be that great. We know Orlando's supposed to be good. Miami has some injuries we'll mention in a second. It's possible. And they have the Wizards, of course. So they are projected to be, worst case scenario, a non-last place team. If you think they get to 30, that's fine. I have fun fading LaMelo's team every year, so I'll go for the under. But yeah, I recognize there isn't talent there, but do I think they play defense? Probably not.
What sounds better? Wizards over 20.5 or Hornets? Hornets over 26.5.
I mean, Koulibaly's out for at least 3 weeks, so they're going to reevaluate him with his thumb. He probably plays a decent portion of the season, but I would probably say Hornets. There is talent there. They're just a lot of injury-prone players on this roster, and this team's probably not going to guard anybody.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the problem.
I don't know.
But
if I had to pick, and I'm not, but if I had to pick, as bad as I feel about the Wizards, I probably feel worse about this Hornets team just knowing that they have this amount of talent and they're never going to care.
Yeah, I would say if I had to pick between the two, I'd pick the Hornets because if LaMelo, in theory, played 60 games in a season, which sounds impossible, but in theory, if he did, him, Bridges, and you throw in...
They should be in the play-in. They should.
Like, they should get over 26.5, but I think the win total's this low for a reason.
No.
Nobody has faith in the health and the overall maturity of this team.
Yeah.
So, I'll go under, but if you want to go over, that's fine. It's not one of my best bets.
Jesus Christ, Colin Sexton is always hurt.
I love him as a player, though, when he's healthy.
Yeah. Man, I feel like I could see the writing on the wall for this Hornets team already.
Yeah.
Not looking forward to that. All right, let's see here. Miami Heat, 37.5 win total. Scott eloquently put they won 37 games last year. Scott, I sent you a message earlier in the offseason when I realized what the Miami Heat team had going on.
Okay.
They bring in Norman Powell. They feel really good about Davion Mitchell, keeping him around.
Hero gets injured.
As always, he's hurt again.
For the update, he's supposed to be back in about 6 to 10 weeks.
Terry Rozier has been cleared of all investigation. Yes,
he might still be bad at basketball, but he did not cheat. He did not point Jeff. So there's that.
So he's not a cheater. He's just bad.
Yes, at least that was the conclusion the NBA reached.
That's what they said. Okay, you're not a cheater. You just suck. Cool. All right. Duncan Robinson, somewhere else. We'll get to that later on in the show. And they bring in Precious Achiuwa. Scott, does this not look like the most 41-41 team ever?
I like the over. Yeah, exactly.
But it's like I don't feel confident in that over because they're literally a 500 basketball club.
I think that's good enough. Once again, 37.5. We talk about Heat culture, all that nonsense every single year, but it's also weird to evaluate the season last year because you had the Jimmy Butler fiasco, and he was playing earlier in the year. Team was not bad. Then he went AWOL. They suspended him. They sucked after they traded him, and they kind of pieced it together, won a couple play-in games, made the playoffs, and then they ended up losing in the first round as expected. But I'm looking at the actual starting lineup projection, and you're going to have Hero somewhere in there. But even without Hero, you got Mitchell, who I think we actually like off night, defensively especially, a point guard. You have Powell. I like Powell. I think we all do. I question why Miami traded for him, but he's still very solid. You have Wiggins, who was not very good with Miami last year. Health can be a concern, but he can be decent defensively as well. And you have Bam and Ware. Now, Ware in preseason looked very good. He's still young. So you're expecting some type of leap, so to speak, from him. And even the bench. I mean, they have Larson, who I like. You have Jaquez. You have Jovic, who got an extension. I actually don't mind this team. Terry Rozier, of course, but the point is, I think with or without Hero, this team should actually not be that bad. In what we think should be a weaker conference in the West, they can accidentally back into 40 wins just by playing hard every night.
Just, if you ever know the Miami Heat, this roster literally screams, if I'm a favorite, do not trust me.
Yeah.
But when everybody counts me out and they're giving us points, this is when we punch you in the mouth.
Yeah, but if you look at the Eastern Conference, every year they were a playing team. But if everybody else, or not really everybody else, but a decent amount of teams are now injured and they got worse, Miami staying the same might actually jump their win total by about 3-4 wins by default.
No, for real. Yeah, no. This is what I'll say. Over on the Miami Heat win total, I will not be having a piece on them for this division at all.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
All.
I see a low ceiling, high floor with this team, and that gets you to around 41-41.
Yep. And you know what? They probably find themselves yet again in the play-in game, maybe play-in game champs this year.
Yeah.
But no shot do I trust this team against anybody with an actual beating pulse.
I think they can sneak up on a couple teams like always, so I'll go with the over. And you get Hero back mid-season, which can help the depth chart. So, yeah, I like the over.
Yeah. Crazy over that I feel great about, but I hate the team. I don't think they're going to be that good at all, actually. They're just going to be literally 500.
I think they'll just out-hustle teams. And, without Butler, maybe they'll be able to focus, as a Free Sauce is mentioning. It was a distraction. It was a sideshow last year. I think they'll be focused this year. And Bam was really not good last year. So I'm hoping after watching Asia, maybe Bam steps it up a bit.
Please, Asia, teach Bam something, please. All right, Atlanta Hawks. This is going to be interesting. They have a win total at 46.5. They won 40 games last year. Trae Young started a podcast. We've got Dyson Daniels.
Shout out to Pat Bev.
Dyson Daniels had a breakout year. They bring in Nickeil Alexander-Walker. Luke Kennard is on the team. Kristaps Porzingis comes over. And then you have their homegrown talent. And researcher, you got Johnson, and then you bring in Asa Noel, and we'll see what he'll be able to contribute on the back end of that bench.
You lost Capella, you still have a Okonkwo, so your front court depth is still fine. And Jalen Johnson got injured last year; he's healthy again. And
when Jalen Johnson is healthy, this team is way better.
Yeah.
So I don't know what I think about them for the championship, Scott. I don't lie. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what I think about them in making a playoff run and actually winning a championship. But what I will say is this profiles as a team that's going to win a lot of regular season games. Now, they're going to win a lot of regular season games because maybe they find a way to live on defensively and not be towards the bottom of the NBA in scoring defense like they were last season. They have some nice pieces. Alexander Walker is a good defensive addition to add to be able to throw out there and bring off the bench, maybe in a 6-man role and be able to guard some of the better perimeter players. But if they're giving up 120 points per game, you're going to lose a lot of games. Yeah. If they just I'm not asking them to be a great defensive team, but if they're just middle of the road, I think they come close to 50 wins here.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's also worth mentioning Trae's in a contract year. He has a player option next year, 0% chance he actually accepts that option. So he's going to be testing free agency. Atlanta's been pretty vocal. They're not giving him a contract extension, at least right now. And honestly, they shouldn't. Besides the fluky Eastern Conference Finals appearance a couple years ago, they haven't done anything. So they decided, you know what? We'll actually give you a better supporting cast 1 year. Mm-hmm. We'll try this out. Show us something. And if you do, we'll pay you. So maybe Trae rises to the occasion to get the bread. We'll see. But either way, I think a lot of people like Atlanta over. I liked Atlanta over last year solely because they did not own their own first-round pick. So they had to try, and they got over accidentally at 40. They did not look good, but they found a way to go over. So at least they did me a solid last year. I think I am going to go over. If we're talking about motivated teams that I do think improved this offseason, most people, I think, view Atlanta as being one of the winners of the offseason. I do think Atlanta's roster, assuming health, which is a concern, of course, for Jalen, etc., this seems pretty good. Now, Porzingis, you're assuming blindly is going to miss 30-plus games because it's Porzingis, but you still have a Okonkwo, who I think can definitely still perform well as a starting center. You got Kennard to help you with some outside shooting off the bench. Alexander Walker, as you said before. They still have, is it pronounced? I believe it's pronounced Gay off the bench, who also can be a backup center if Porzingis gets hurt. Keen Wallace was not that bad. I think they have some options here. They got Bassie from San Antonio, who is also a decent center. Mm-hmm. I don't mind the actual depth on this team. Dyson Daniels was most improved. I do think this team can be good. The problem is Quinn Snyder defensively has never been able to click with this team, mainly because we know Trey is an abomination on defense. Mm-hmm. So I think they can definitely thrive in a pretty weak Eastern Conference or a down year in the Eastern Conference. I'll go over, mainly because I do think this team has something to prove. If they went under, it would be classic Hawks, but I'll give it to them. I'm not going to give them 50. I'll give them 48. They are in a pretty weak division after all. So I'll go for 48 wins.
And near 50, yeah.
Yeah, 48 and 34.
I agree with you. I got them near 50 wins too. I think this is about where they're at. The defensive woes is probably going to kill them and plague them different points in the season where they're going to be really annoyed and lose some games they probably shouldn't. But for the most part, it feels like also with a contract year, Trae Young's going to have something to say. Mm-hmm. And Trae Young, I know this isn't an award show, but since, we're just kind of giving the award out, who won Clutch Player last year? Was it who won Clutch Player of the Year last year?
I'm trying to remember. Brunson.
Yeah.
Which was warranted.
So that makes, what's the history of this award? Brunson, Steph, De'Aaron. Yeah. This feels like a Trae Young award.
Well, there is one common theme. All point guards.
Yeah. It feels like a Trae Young award. I wouldn't be surprised if the Hawks defensively suck for like 3 quarters and then a couple of plays from Daniels, a couple of plays from Alexander Walker in crunch time, and then Trae Young hits some big shots. Yeah. Next thing you know, we're talking about him Clutch Player of the Year. So wouldn't be surprised. Just keep that in the back of your mind.
Yeah.
All right, let's close out the division. Orlando Magic, 50.5 wins, 141 last season. It was an up and down roller coaster season because they came out the gates hot and on fire, Scott Reichel, and
everyone got hurt.
Paolo broke. And then Franz Wagner broke with the same exact injury.
Suggs got hurt too. The whole team died. And yet somehow you looked up and they were actually in the bracket.
Yep.
And they won a game or two against Boston. So you know what? They actually did something.
Shouts out to the Orlando Magic. I mean, they keep telling you and showing you. And now they bring in Desmond Bane, Tyus Jones, Jace Richardson from the draft. Look. Oh, no more Cole Anthony as well. Look, I'll say this. Fully healthy, and from what I've seen from Jamal Mosley and able to get this team up, there's no reason the Orlando Magic shouldn't be one of the best teams in the East.
Yeah. And of course, they got Bane to help with their shooting.
Defensively, they have clicked, and they have found a great mode to just really ugly up the game where – you could maybe sit here and talk to me that there's not a lot of scoring depth on this team, Scott. But when you're giving up 80, 90 points a game, you don't got to score much. Paolo's 30 is going to be enough to carry you. Franz Wagner's 20 is going to be enough to carry you. If Desmond Bane just acts like he wants to shoot any given night, it's going to be enough. This team is really good defensively, and they bring in 2 really solid players, one Tyus Jones to kind of help keep the second unit moving offensively, and Desmond Bane, who can play a 3-and-D role for this team. Defensively,
they're going to be really, really good.
Really good.
And you didn't even mention Isaac actually being healthy for the start of the season. And Isaac's a madman on defense.
They have so many options, and I think it's going to get to a point where they're going to be able to switch so much that teams are just going to be completely frustrated night in, night out. Like everything is just going to frustrate them. I'm all over the Orlando Magic bandwagon. Do I know how far they're going to get in the playoffs yet? No, I don't. But for the regular season, this is a team that's built off of defense, and those teams built off defense win a lot of football, not football, basketball games. I'm in NFL season.
They might be playing football with the amount of contact they're willing to generate on defense, but they might not get called for every single time. Like, they're going to be physical as hell, and I do like what this team does. You could argue that they're a throwback Thibodeau team. They're going to try to grind out every game. They'll try hard in the regular season, and you'll look up and they'll have 50-plus wins. I like the over on Orlando. I think Orlando is going to win a bunch of games. They were a really bad three-point shooting team last year. It's why they lost to Boston. Nobody could hit a shot. That's why they trade for Ben. Now, injuries can play a factor. Still not a fan of Wendell Carter Jr. being their starting center. But either way, I do think they can trade for somebody at the deadline if needed for a center. But I do think this team in general, with Suggs being healthy, with Paolo, with Franz, with really just all the options they have, it's pretty top-heavy offensively. I love Tyus Jones, especially as a backup point guard. I think you cannot get much better as a backup point guard than Tyus Jones. I love what this team did. I do think that Mosley's fourth quarter offense can get quite stagnant. I'm hoping that can correct itself. But they had a bunch of injuries. They played hard. And you know what? They actually made the playoffs and beyond last year. Good for them. Give me the over. I think this is the Orlando Magic breakout season. 53 wins. Play the theme song. Orlando Magic. Oh, yeah. So I'll go with the over. I think we're going to be hearing a lot of that theme song this season.
Division: Wizards 300-1, Hornets 150-1, Heat 18-1, Hawks plus 150, Orlando Magic minus 160.
I think it's chalky, but I'll go Orlando.
I do think Orlando is pretty chalky, but I think it is the right play. I would not be surprised if the Hawks made a push, but I just think Orlando is going to be a top 3 team in the East.
I think the Heat will be in the running for part of the season, but then they'll remember, oh yeah, we don't care, and then they're just going to coast to the finish line as always. So yeah. I got Orlando.
Man, remember that one year I randomly just, Heat, number 1 seed. And they actually did it. Those days.
A reminder, by the way, the Magic, 41 games won last year. They won the division.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to that joke. But I think that they'll win 53, give them the division title.
All right. Let's see here before we get to the next division. We're going to talk about mybookie.ag, your place to bet everything and go get down on the futures in the NBA or go bet the NFL and all of that going on. Their motto is bet anything, anywhere, anytime. Easy deposit and get lightning fast payouts due to cryptocurrency. So head over to mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN for 100% bet bonus up to $500 for new customers. That's mybookie.ag. Promo code SGPN. Also brought to you by Novig, America's #1 sports prediction market. Whoa. There we go. America's #1 sports prediction market. Novig, you're getting the best prices available in 35-plus states. Download the Novig app and get $50 when you spend $5 when you use our promo code SGPN. All right. Next division up, we're in the Central. And we've got Chicago Bulls tipping things off at the bottom of the Central Division. And win total 32.5 on the win total for the Chicago Bulls. They won 39 games last year.
Yep.
Now,
Giddey turned out to be really good.
He did. And he bet on, well, I don't know if it's really betting on yourself because you didn't, win a lot of games, but he got paid. He got paid, and he showed that he deserves it, and they should put the ball in his hands and he can make plays. Kobe White was really, really good as well. They like Buzelis. They bring in Isaac Okoro. They made the trade and, blew up the team. DeMar DeRozan's here. Kevin Huerter is in, who really didn't have a good season last year. DeSamu's back off of injury. Randomly they got Javon Carter on this team from the Bucks. Okay, I didn't peep that. All right. Oh, is that Jalen Smith? Yeah.
Jalen Smith. They're still paying Patrick Williams $18 million. They had Zach Collins. They made some moves. I don't know if I like any of them, but they did make a couple of tweaks.
Okay. So I do acknowledge that towards the end of the season, the Bulls really did win us over. Yeah, but what are the odds that they're going to carry that over into this year, Scott? Because I was completely out on the Bulls, and then they just went on the craziest of runs, and it was Giddey and Kobe White every night.
I like Buzelis as a player in general. They got a Coro.
Really?
I think Buzelis is intriguing. I don't think he's an actual like game changer, but I think that there's something there.
Do you think he's a starter
talent
in the league? Do you think he's a starter in the league?
Honestly, the sample's too low, too short, but I think he might be. I don't know. I kind of need to see more.
When I was like, I mean, well, you got to start him because you have Patrick Williams, but like,
maybe I'm just used to the Bulls missing on a bunch of draft picks, but I saw him and said, you know what, there might actually be something there. I don't mind Buzel's.
Okay, I get that. You know what? That's a good way to put it, Scott.
Because the Bulls historically have really not been that great of a drafting team for the last, I don't know how many years. So Buzel's at least has something. I'll put it that way.
All right. My issue with the Chicago Bulls is there are a bunch of other teams that deserve more fading.
We also know the Bulls every year feels like their actual NBA Finals is making the play-in.
Yeah.
So
like that's their goal. Their goal
is this team going to tank? That's kind of the question, because you argue that with this team, based on its construction, is built to win like 36 games.
They're literally, if it ever looks like they're tanking, they're always going to feel like, oh, we can at least go for a play-in. Like they always have that little, like the cheese, when they put the cheese on the wheel and the hamster's trying to go get, or whatever, the mouse is trying to get the cheese. Like they're like, oh, play-in. And they win a couple of more games. They went on the run last year to go make the play-in.
Yeah, we're going to mention the Nets in a little bit, but we have some quotes from ownership where the Nets basically said indirectly, like, we're trying to be bad. The Bulls never really said that. They're still paying Vucevic. They ended up extending Giddey. They are paying people some money, and we know every year we think they should be tanking, and yet it feels like they try to make the play-in every year. So I'll go over, actually. I think this team is not very good, but I think they're going to be trying, and when teams start punting, especially for what should be a very strong draft class, you have 3 really good upcoming rookies or upcoming draft class guys who might be franchise changers, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of teams will be punting, and I think Chicago will not be one of those teams. They might pick up a lot of wins in the back half.
Their fans are going to be pissed. Yeah, their fans are going to be so pissed. That's my prediction. By the end of the season, Chicago Bulls fans are going to be very pissed about how the team performed and the fact that they did enough not to get them a big name player, but also not progressing any far as a franchise at all.
I'm the same way. I think if you want to go for the Bulls under and you pick them to finally tank, it makes sense because conceptually they should, but they've proven year after year ownership's fine with mediocrity. I see this being a 35, 36 win team, and the fans are going to start crying, but I can see them winning 35 games.
Find me a bet on the Bulls to lose the play-in game.
Yeah.
If you could find me a bet on them getting, like right now, on them to get in and lose the first play-in game.
Yeah, this team screams like 9 or 10 seed. They get blasted by 20 points in their first play-in game.
Yeah.
And that's it. That's what this team screams to me.
Unfortunately, that means we have to take over. Over 32.5 here for the Chicago Bulls. Next team up, we've got the Indiana Pacers. Coming off of an NBA Finals appearance. Tyrese Halliburton tried to play through it, didn't, tore the Achilles. So he's done. And we'll get to them another point, but what's with everybody tearing their Achilles and thinking they're trying to, well, Tyrese Halliburton that's talking about, but like the other guy thinks he's playing this year. Well, we'll get to that. We'll focus on him a little bit later.
Wasn't he dunking?
So
NBA athletes are a different breed. That's all I'm going to say.
It's different between dunking a basketball, like just dunking a basketball, and actually playing a full contact NBA game multiple times. No way he plays a game this year, by the way.
Yeah.
All right. Tyrese Halliburton for sure not playing a game, though. TJ McConnell was another injury bug that I'm just like, what? Where is this coming from?
Yeah, he's out for a month.
CJ McConnell's out for a month now. And you know what that means? They decided to go sign Cam Payne.
Well, to be fair, Cam Payne was a solid MVP for them in the playoff series last year. So they decided to actually pay him money this time around. So, I guess they wanted to give him a loyalty bonus.
Oh, man. Which is crazy because I think Quentin Jackson is so much better than him right now. I don't know why. And it looks like that they're going to go with Cam Payne over Quentin Jackson. All right, whatever. Yeah, no Miles Turner on this team anymore either.
They got Jay Huff. I like Jay Huff, but that's not the same. It's such a weird team to evaluate because a part of me wants to go.
Somebody has to fall off.
A part of me wants to say heat culture, And you know what? Maybe they're coached well enough by Carlisle that they can actually survive these injuries, and they might only win 40 games.
Yeah, but we've seen Carlisle also coach teams without the talent at the top, and they be absolutely horrible.
Yeah,
Dallas Mavericks, and they suck. And so, what other than last year gives you the hope that without Tyrese Halliburton, especially when they won a bunch of games in the clutch, he won them there was little counting stat of how many games he won them in the clutch.
Yeah, he had one of the clutchest playoff runs of all time. So, and
in the regular season too.
Yeah, that too.
I mean, that's a bunch of losses added on to this team. Somebody's got to fall off here. And if we're saying the Bulls are going to make the play-in, I'm just going to have to assume it's going to be the Indiana Pacers coming off a hangover of the NBA Finals and Tyrese Halliburton's hurt. For a full season, like they literally can't take another injury on this team or they're screwed. We're talking about them. We're talking about them now, and this is fully healthy. If there's another injury anywhere, say Pascal Siakam goes down, say Aaron Nesmith goes down, say if it's Ben Mathurin or Nembhard, if you lose anybody, you're screwed.
Yeah, pretty much. I do wonder if the front office, with all the injuries, they might start tanking because they own their own pick. There is a chance without Miles Turner, of course, without Halliburton now because of injury. McCollum's now going to be out indefinitely. I do think McConnell could have been a nice fill-in point guard for them. I still like Nembhard. I still like Siakam. I like pieces on this team. Mathurin, I think, could be a solid player as well. But I do think you're right. It comes down to actual front office mindset. Chicago never wants to tank because they like to make play-ins and pretend that they're relevant when they never are. Indiana made the finals last year. Is there a chance they kind of go, I don't want to say San Antonio Spurs from like the 90s, but maybe one year your star player gets hurt? Shout out to the Admiral. You tank, you get Tim Duncan. Mm-hmm. Like there is a chance Indiana might just say, wait a second, if we end up tanking, we get a top 3 pick somehow, we throw them into the fold with Halliburton next year, we're immediately title contenders. That's a possibility too. There is a chance this team fully tanks. So you might be on to something there.
Yeah.
I don't mind the under, actually. I do think this team, culture-wise, is built to actually surprise teams every night because they play a certain style of play, which is very tough to match with the pace they play at. But Halliburton is such a floor general and all that. I get what you're saying.
But they have to blow you out. Like, they got to do that, and everybody's got to hit. You got to blow teams out because if this is a close game, they were depending on one guy.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. Regression is coming.
Yeah, I think the compromise in the middle is you can go for the win total under, but if you want to go for like Siakam points or Mathurin points over, that's how they get there. They need somebody to emerge as a guy dropping 20 and change, and they just outscore teams, as you said. So if McConnell was healthy to start the season, maybe I'd be a bit harder on a pushback here, but I think I'm with you. I'll go under because I do think the front office knows if they actually got a good draft pick to add with Halliburton coming back next season, this team can be very, very dangerous.
All right.
So I'm with you.
Doc Rivers and the Milwaukee Bucks have a win total of 43.5. Honestly, I'm sorry. Rewind. Giannis has a win total of 43.5. Because, Scott, between Miles Turner, Ryan Rollins, AJ Green, Kyle Kuzma, and Giannis, who do you trust offensively to consistently score the basketball?
I can't even say consistently, but Bobby Portis. If you want to throw in Kevin Porter Jr., just solely based on the amount of shots he's going to take, that's an option too. I mean, if Giannis gets injured, like if you took Giannis off this team,
they are the bottom. Like this is rivaling the Wizards.
This team would be god awful if you took Giannis
this
off.
Would rival the Wizards if you took Giannis off of this team.
Yes, I think this team on paper would win like 20 games and change.
You're telling me there's no chance Giannis gets hurt? Like everybody has a chance of getting. If you take Giannis off this team, this Bucks team might be the worst team in the NBA. And I get it. Yes, you take away a perennial, NBA top 75 player, whatever. Dog, this team is built. I mean, if I'm Giannis, I'm punching air right now.
I want to read off the games.
Ryan Rollins is their starting point guard.
It can, in theory, be Kevin Porter Jr. We'll see what they do, but it's not pretty either way. I'll read off the games played for Giannis, starting in 2019-2020. 63, 61, 67, 63, 73, 67, which means he's usually missing about 16-plus games per season, 16 to 20.
Gosh.
If he misses 20 games, they can, in theory, go 2-18.
Scott, this might be one of the best. This might be the best one that we've gotten to this far.
If you think Milwaukee's good, just bet Giannis MVP because he's carrying this damn team. Like, I think the rest of the roster,
he has to win, and if they get over well, maybe not they get over the win, but 48 games. If they get even close to that, Giannis MVP is on the table.
Yeah, it's on the table. I don't trust him staying healthy. Not to mention if Giannis
he
plays
has to
well,
be averaging 30. Like he has to be averaging 33, 35. How are you? There's no way.
Even with that, though, you need supporting cast help. I do like AJ Green, but he's not a guy besides a 3-point specialist. This is what he does. He's going to come around screens, shoot some shots as a floor spacer. But I do think that this team, depth-wise, is not very good. They have some veterans. I mean, they got Porter Jr., Cole Anthony, Gary Trent, who I actually don't mind, Taurean Prince, and Portis. Gary Harris is on this team. Like, I don't think this team is really worth much. Amir Coffey, though, could be interesting. I think that's an option of a guy who could
that's
maybe
so funny
be
because
solid.
that's the person that I was looking at further down the bench that I was like, oh, yeah, Amir Coffey's on the team.
I like Amir Coffey as a player. But
this team, no.
No, they clearly just have Giannis and a bunch of random fill-ins because Dame ended up getting injured. They traded him at the end. It's not pretty. So I'll go under on Milwaukee because I'll dare Giannis to stay healthy. If Giannis had a history of playing 80-plus or like 75-plus games every season, I consider the over. But when your best player misses 15 to 20 games a season and your supporting cast is garbage, that's a recipe for disaster. So I got the under. I think this is going to be a 41-41 team.
Free Sauce also adding, funny as shit is the Bucks are undefeated in the preseason right now. Isn't that perfect? This is exactly what we want.
Yeah.
We want them to go undefeated in the preseason.
Once again, if you think Milwaukee is good, just bet Giannis MVP because he's going to have to average 34, 35, and probably 13.
Dude.
Like, Giannis might put up an all-time crazy stat line if this team is even close to being relevant.
Yeah.
But do I see them beating the good teams in the league that could actually game plan around Giannis? No, I don't. I think good coaches will be prepared for this team because they're pretty easy to prepare for.
Yeah.
And Doc Rivers can blow games to bad teams too.
43.5 under.
I'll go under because of the injury concerns. There's no depth on this team.
There's a strong playing potential for the Bucks this year.
Yeah,
very strong playing potential for the Bucks. Detroit Pistons, 45.5. This is just hating on Detroit, honestly, Scott. Their win total is at 45.5. They won 44 games last year, and this year Jaden Ivey is healthy. Like, what are we talking about here?
I do want to point out, by the way, that we still don't know if Malik Beasley is going to go anywhere. I doubt he goes back to Detroit, but he's technically a free agent. No, I'm not saying they'd bring him back, but that is a possibility in theory. They did replace him. I know you mentioned before that there was a certain Heat player who was around for a while who actually ended up relocating. Duncan Robinson, who you could argue is kind of the same exact player. So they ended up making some adjustments to the roster.
Is he betting on himself too?
I don't know. We're going to find out. But look, all I know is that no matter all the memes you can come up with for Malik Beasley, he was really, really good last year. So I want to mention that. Like, he was on pace to get
But they upgraded. Money. They upgraded. He got to be that good because Jaden Ivey went down.
Correct.
And now first of all, I have realized in my deep dive of getting ready for this season, Scott, I've realized how much I really do like Jaden Ivey as a player. I forgot. I completely forgot.
I like him as a player. I'm still not sure if he fits well with Cade, which we're gonna have to find out. But I do.
I mean, of course. I mean, I think he'll be better without Cade, just because he has his own passing ability that people don't talk about. Of how good of a play creator he is, and not just creating for himself but others. He's a really, really good player, and I mean, light years above Malik Beasley. And so, with that alone. And what we saw in the fight from this Detroit Pistons team last year, and the fact that everybody else in the East is coming down, why is this still here? They won 44 games last year, Scott. Is this not a clear over 45.5 for the Detroit Pistons?
Yeah, I think I like the over with this team. I do think that kind of like the Magic in a way. I just think they'll outplay teams based on effort most nights, which should be good enough to actually win a bunch of games. I do want to point out, though, Cade played 70 games last year, so he did miss 12 in general. He ended up missing 20 the year prior. So Cade does have a bit of an injury history. That could be why, because if Cade does get hurt, they might end up losing some games. So
And
maybe
then,
it's kind
I
of
mean,
factoring
no,
in.
but they still might. If Ivy is playing, I'm telling you, they may. I get I get the concerns that they might not mesh because they do both. I wouldn't say they play the same, but they both need the ball in their hands. If one or the other still makes the Detroit Pistons pretty solid, like how you saw how at first the Orlando Magic when Paolo went down, France kind of picked up that slack, and they were still really decent. Like I think it's something like that where they're just gonna win. They're just gonna win a bunch of games. Like I think this team is JB Bickerstaff has got this team rolling. I think they're gonna win a bunch of games. I like the defense. I like the pieces. I wish Tobias
Even the
Harris
bench, I
wasn't there.
don't mind. I do wonder how many minutes Robinson's going to play because Beasley was kind of in a bench starter role,
Yeah,
like a Manu. He's
yeah.
coming off the bench, but he's playing 30-plus minutes a game to just get used to it. That could be a Duncan thing, but I don't think Duncan should be playing that many minutes because he's that bad defensively. LeVert can still play. I think he's a pretty good bench scorer. I still don't know if Ivy's actually a starter or not. I wonder if he's supposed to be the sixth man on this team. They're going to reinvent the wheel, but they could
That would
trade
be a
for
good
somebody.
role for him too. And opposite, that would be a good role.
I can see them trading for somebody at the deadline. I saw somebody in the comment section mentioning Markkanen. They could be a destination there. Detroit, I think, should be aggressive midseason, and that's why I'm kind of bullish on what they should be doing. But I'll go over. I don't think it's a slam dunk. You sound like you're fully convinced that it is a guarantee here. I'm not going to go that far.
You don't think this is a six? You don't think this is a 6 seed? You don't think
Well,
they're a
because
6 seed team?
I think they definitely should be, but we're also assuming relative good health from Cade, who has missed 10-plus games every season.
Okay, I can respect
Usually
that.
15
Yeah,
plus.
if Cade goes down, then yeah, this
If
goes
Cade
up.
goes down to, I think they can break 500 for like a 2-3 week stretch. I'm gonna say no because Cade kind of runs everything for this team. So I'll say over, but not by a lot. I don't feel as great about the over as you do.
Okay, yeah, injury,
That's
of course, but fully healthy. I feel like this is a 6 seed team.
Well,
Like, I
Cade
feel like
proved that he's a guy you can actually like build a team around. So I like it.
I feel very much feels like a 6 seed. I think they're a playoff team. I wonder what the playoff odds are looking.
Well, playoffs definitely. So I think that they're going to finish around 46, 47, but I can see this being a sweat final week of the season.
All right.
But you are higher on Ivy than I am.
Yeah. Let's see. Who's last? We've got the Cleveland Cavaliers. Win total here sitting at 56.5. Won 64 games last year. Big historic season. We talked about it. Complete no-show in the playoffs. Bring in Lonzo Ball as a new backup point guard and fill in for Darius Garland. However, he also is, he is completely healthy, but he's only going to be he's going to be on a minutes restriction, it sounds like.
He's wrapped in 3 different coating of bubble wrap. That's basically what they're doing.
Yeah, no
I
back
will point out, though, not the same position, but they basically swapped Okoro for Lonzo. That's basically what happened.
And then no Ty Jerome anymore as well, coming off of the bench. I feel like that's not gonna be talked about enough. But Ty Jerome played very, very good minutes for them. And then, I mean, outside of Lonzo, who did they really bring in? They didn't bring in anybody different.
No, people thought there was a rumor they might be nuking the entire team, and instead they did not do that. They ended up bringing Garland back, even though he was in every single mock trade during the offseason. Garland went through a light workout on Tuesday. He's out right now with a toe thing, but it doesn't seem to be that big of a deal. But he had off-season toe surgery, which apparently completely needed for months. So Garland was good last year. We know Mitchell's very good. We know Mobley made a leap last year. Jared Allen's good. They won 64 last year. Do we think this is just a classic, kind of like Utah Jazz or Atlanta Hawks team? We're going to win 60 every year, but you better believe we're losing in the playoffs. Like, is this just what they are? Are they a regular season peak team?
It feels like that. Yeah, it feels like Donovan Mitchell has a lot to do with that. And
coincidentally, Donovan Mitchell being on that Jazz team as well. But
yeah, I thought that was the joke you were making.
No, I'm just saying. I was kind of just mentioning that type.
That's
of
where
team.
where I completely went with it.
That type of team, you just win a bunch of regular season games, you go into the second round, and you assume they're going to fall apart.
Because defensively, they're still going to be really good. And ultimately, that would be enough for like half of the teams in the league this year.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, they'll win. They'll win their fair share of games. They probably won't look nearly as dominant. I don't think they'll come close to 64 games that they won last year, but I think they're still definitely north of a 50-win team. So I'd rather take my stab at the over 56.5. I think they'll be perfectly fine. And then when Garland comes back, that just even elevates this even more. Strus is out right now too, so the reinforcements are going to come for them, and they're probably just going to go on one of those complete heater runs at the end of the year and probably cash this for us. So I feel good about the Cavs. There's not much resistance anywhere to make me feel like that they're going to be some type of just 50-win team.
Yeah, I do want to ask you though, because I'm looking at the bench, because we know Jerome was an absolute flamethrower last year. Assuming that Garland has not missed more than a week to start the season, because he's already doing some light workouts. He should be back at some point, probably by the end of the month. Your bench right now is Lonzo, Craig Porter, Sam Merrill, Dean Wade, Larry Nance Jr., Thomas Bryant. How do you feel about that? Because that bench does not sound too good to me.
It does, but it gets better when you add Max Strus into the equation. However, it's all going to depend on how good Lonzo can be, because Lonzo can make those guys look a lot better than what they are.
Yeah, if healthy, which is a big question mark, and it feels like even if he is healthy,
even if he is healthy, it doesn't seem like they're going to let him do it.
They're going to be so careful with him; it's not going to matter.
Yo, they said he's playing 20 minutes per game. Immediately said, yeah, he's playing 20 minutes per game.
I know Lonzo's supposed to be the sixth man on this team, and Craig Porter might actually be pretty good. I think he's kind of underrated. I have questions about this bench, like extreme questions about this bench. So I think in a bad Eastern Conference, they can find a way over, but I might go under because if they actually have an injury to a decent piece, I don't think they're built to withstand that. Do you? Looking at the backup options they have at every position, if you end up getting Mitchell, who's out for a month, maybe, I know he's had some injuries too.
We've seen them be able to win games with a couple of guys be out. That's where I'm like, I think they'll just be a regular season team that wins game. And when they get into the playoffs, they're easy to game plan for. You take away the couple of options and you play really good defense and you'll win the series.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not enthused about them at all. Not enthused, but they'll get over.
I think that this is going to be a pretty good team, obviously, but I might actually go slight under. I wonder how many wins you actually need to be the one seed in the Eastern Conference. Because we're expecting a very down season. I don't think we're expecting any team to get to 60. Maybe one team we're going to talk about, but I doubt it. Can they get the one seed with like 54 wins?
So, I mean, if they go on, so then the West has to just be killing these. Like, it's got to be losses.
Based on the depth of the West, we're going to talk about tomorrow.
Because
you can argue that the West might kill the East.
They're 56.5. If you go under, they're minus 475 to win the division.
Yeah.
The Pistons are 6-1, the Bucks are 10-1, the Pacers are 60-1, the Bulls are 130-1. Might as well take the Pistons at 6-1 here.
6-1 makes sense. Yeah, I think that's a good price. I do wonder though if the Cavs can get the 1 or 2 seed winning 52 games. I don't know how many teams break 50 in this conference this season.
No, I think the Knicks will be fine.
I'm just saying. No, that's my point. The Knicks are probably going over. We'll talk about them in a second. Yeah. Cavs, they might get the 2 seed winning 54 games. I'll go under on the Cavs. I'll go for a bit of a hotter take.
I don't know. I would love to sit here and say under so that I could talk up a Detroit Pistons 6-1 division winner ticket that I'm sweating for the rest of the season. But like, a lot of teams are really bad, and I think they're competent enough. And Donovan Mitchell is good enough. They're going to win regular season games.
I just don't think they have the depth to withstand injuries. And after having home court last year and falling apart immediately, I wonder if Atkinson and company might realize home court not as important as we thought it was. Maybe they coast in the back end of the season to the playoffs.
All right.
I'll go under on the Cavs.
Let's see here. One more division to talk about here.
Going to a read first?
Yeah. For talking about underdog fantasy. Make sure you go tap in Underdog Fantasy Pick'em. You can win up to 500 times your entry in NFL. You can do it in NHL, NBA as well by just simply picking higher or lower your favorite players' fantasy stats. Give you 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 player entries. What? Brand new offer for new customers. Play just $5 and get $100 in bonus funds when you sign up with promo code NBA SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm. They're crushing college football and NFL right now, and they're giving away weekly cash prizes just for tracking your bets in the app. They are data-driven, so make sure you go get the data-driven props, picks, all of that over there at Rhythm. Track 5 bets of the same type from any model you build, because you can build your own data model over there at Rhythm, and you could win $1,000. Make sure you use that promo code SGPN25 when you download the Rhythm app for 25% off your first month. Download Rhythm and use promo code SGPN25. All right. Last division. I didn't do this on purpose. I promise I didn't. Atlantic Division, Brooklyn Nets, 20.5 wins, Scott. You're Brooklyn Nets. They won 26 games last year, though.
Somehow.
Who is the starting point guard for this team?
It's a great question.
Oh my gosh. I mean, okay, so they bring in Michael Porter Jr. Hayward Highsmith is on the team now, if you didn't know. My favorite part about the beginning of the season is when people, especially the casual fans, start watching the game and they're like, wait, who's on this team now? Because they're still rocking with Drew Timme, by the way.
Yep. I like Timmy. Timmy was actually good for the Nets last year. And he might be a bit too good for what this team's trying to do.
Terrence Mann is also on the Nets now.
Yep.
Danny Wolf.
Fun fact, Terrence Mann, most experienced player, oldest player on the entire roster.
No way.
Yes, he is.
Holy shit.
Oldest player on the entire team. He's the vet. He's the unk. He's the unk on the team. Unk man.
So does this mean that the Brooklyn Nets are now going to win an NBA championship?
No, it means this team's winning 15 games. That's what this means. I'm on the under. I feel good about it. You hear the quotes from Cy?
What? Oh, yeah, that they're tanking.
The owner? He did not say that officially, but he said we had a top end pick last year, and we're going to aim for another top end pick this year. Those were the owner's words. They got Michael Porter Jr. They have Cam Thomas, won basketball, all that stuff. This team's going to be garbage. Denman has barely played in the preseason. He's been injured, but we know he also had a hard time shooting at BYU. They had a bunch of draft picks in the first round. People were very underwhelmed by what they did. I didn't mind it. We'll see what they turn into, but this team is not trying to win. Under, no questions asked for me. A lot of projects on the team for young players. The best player right now is arguably Michael Porter Jr., who has the green light to shoot and I guess say questionable things on podcasts.
Oh, don't let him ever get hurt this season either, because if he's playing hurt with a green light, it's disaster. They might lose by 30 every night.
Even Cam Thomas got hurt last year, and maybe the Nets will trade him. We'll see what happens. But either way, I like the under pretty heavily. This team, after kind of failing last year with the tank, because Fernandez is a really good coach, we're not going to get Cooper Flagg. That was pretty obvious after a month or two because Schroeder was a madman with this team. I'm going to go with the under. This team wins 15 games. I think this might be the worst record in the entire league. 20.5 is way too high. Last year I was on the Wizards under for the same logic. This Nets team is going to suck. Give me the under. Easy.
Yeah, I don't have anything to add.
They're going to be terrible. This team's not getting to 21 wins.
No point in wasting any extra time on this. Nets are going to suck under 20.5 wins. Toronto Raptors. Wow. Jesus Christ. The Atlantic Division jumps 18.5 on the win total from last to second to last.
That's why the Nets are always going to be bad, because they're going to be dogs, massive dogs in every division game.
Toronto Raptors win total is at 38.5. They won 30 games last year. Brandon Ingram's going to be healthy, I think. I mean, it's a really big if here nowadays, but Brandon Ingram's expected to be healthy playing with this team. He got paid, they gave him the money, all of that. Scotty Barnes, Emmanuel Quickly, RJ Barrett, Jakob Poeltl. I mean, okay. Definitely not the worst team on paper. Didn't really bring in any more rotation breaking talent. They brought over your boy from the Spurs, though, Scott.
Yeah, I do want to point out, by the way, they didn't bring anybody. Or you could argue new. They brought in Mamukashvili,
Yeah,
but
that's what I was talking about. Your boy.
I was gonna say their big acquisition, I guess, was Brandon Ingram,
No,
who they
that's their
traded for and he
offseason.
didn't play.
Yeah, their offseason acquisition was Brandon Ingram, who they traded for last season. Oh man. Okay. And maybe like
This might be the most expensive 7 seed I've ever seen in my entire life. But you have any thoughts on their win total?
yeah, like they'll make the playoffs. Like they'll be a
In
playoff
this
team
Eastern
with them.
Conference, they better make the damn playoffs. They're paying like $200 million for 4 guys.
No, really. Yeah. You got Emmanuel Quickly making 32, RJ Barrett 37, Brandon Ingram 38, Scotty Barnes 38.
Yeah. And
Holy
even
shit.
Pirtle's making about 20. Their
Yeah.
entire starting lineup is worth a ton of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Scotty
Now, maybe
Barnes and
not like
Brandon Ingram. Scotty Barnes and
yeah.
Brandon Ingram are both $40 million players.
Yeah, maybe not like 200 million, but the entire starting lineup's like 150, give or take. Like that is a lot of money for what should be an average basketball team. But I do think after last year, they overachieved. They played hard for their coach in the back half of the season. So that was one of the only win totals I got wrong that I liked because Toronto, for some reason, tried instead of tanking.
Yep.
I am going to go over with Toronto. I think they're a standard 41-41 team.
Yep.
That's going to end up in the play-in or maybe a 6 seed.
This is who Miami plays in the first play-in game.
They have enough talent, even with quickly getting injured and a couple injuries here or there. They have enough scoring ability to, in my opinion, get to 40. If their win total starts with a 4, you automatically win. So give me Toronto over.
Yep.
I don't love what the team's been doing with the roster because I don't get
We
the
don't
vision.
have to like them.
I don't
that's
get
what's
the
different from the NBA and the NFL is we don't have to like a team to like their win total. 9 times out of 10, if you like the team in the NFL, you bet in the over, and if you don't like them, you're betting under. We hate a lot of these teams, but the over on the win total makes a lot of sense for the Toronto Raptors here.
Yeah, there's enough sample with 82 games where you might just find ways to win random nights, and Toronto does have enough scoring talent to win random nights. Defensively, they might have some problems, but I'll go over on Toronto. They're spending too much money to actively tank midway through a season. I think they can do enough to win 42 games. I'll go over on Toronto.
Boston Celtics win total sitting here at 41.5. They've won 61 games last year. All right, that guy, man, Jason Tatum. He did tear his Achilles in the playoffs. Some reason Jason Tatum thinks that he's going to play basketball in the NBA this year.
He's not going to, but let him believe what he wants to believe.
I mean, if he does, he's really like destroying the rest of his career. There's no way that's healthy.
He's not going to.
There's no way you should be able to be cleared to play a contact sport that soon off of Achilles tear.
I think it's more of a Tatum leadership. I'm proving I'm putting in the work type of thing.
Yeah, like he's not like, and there's a lot of Boston fans that are gonna sit here and show you every single tape of him doing something, any type of actual physical movement. They're gonna be like, he looks ready. I'm telling you, from a health standpoint, Jason Tatum is not playing basketball this year, and if he does, he will be a shell of himself.
Yeah,
this is just not what you're
not risking it.
You're not supposed to risk this year. Not at all. Not at all supposed to risk anything right there. So with that being said, you're looking at Peyton Pritchard, Derek Wright, Jaylen Brown, Chris Boucher, and insert whoever. I'm not even committed to who they're going to start at the 4th spot, to be honest. Anthony Simon's coming off the bench. That was the big acquisition.
Shout out the other day.
Shout out to Matt Shulga for making the training camp team.
Shout out to VCU.
Yeah, VCU. You know, I'm always going to throw one out there.
Good player.
So, yeah, this is when you know what? This is going to be when 2 things are going to happen. Jaylen Brown is going to go for a scoring title. And this could be Joe Mazzulla proving to me, or proving to everybody else, because I already know that he's really not that good of a coach.
Okay.
Because they've played basketball one way for a long time now. Are you telling me that without Jason Tatum, like all of this is just going to click and it's just going to?
For the record, the style of play is taking 53s a game. That's the style of play.
Like, what is he going to do if the threes aren't hitting?
Nothing. They're going to lose. But the argument is they could potentially be a good plus money dog in some games.
Yeah.
When they get hot
yeah.
from 3, they can beat anybody.
Yeah. And I agree with that. But, like, come on, man. You're taking away multiple offensive options on this team. I mean, we didn't even get through, no more Drew Holiday, no more Al Horford. Like, this is a new team. This is a new team. And you're sitting here telling me that the only thing that pulls teams like this together is a great head coach. And I don't think they have that. I think they have a solid head coach. Not great. He's not gonna change and steal wins where he needs to steal coaching wins from bottom feeder teams. They will steal wins, like you said, from good teams from just hitting shots, but it won't be in part of Joe Mazzulla. And with that, 40 and the thing that annoys me is that they brought it down so much because it's at 41.5. So now I basically have to say, are they a 500 team or not?
Do you think they are a 500 team?
Well,
I'll segue this, though.
I think Jaylen Brown's going to be really good.
If Brown gets hurt, are they dead?
Oh, yeah, they're dead. They're dead.
Then
if Brown gets hurt, they're dead.
Then I'm going to ask you a question here. Because so far, Jaylen Brown, he entered the league in 2016. So 2016, 2017 was his first season. Which means he's played a total of 9 NBA seasons.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know how many seasons he's played more than 70 games in? Out of the 9.
Wow. Okay. More than 70?
More than 70 games.
What? Scott.
How many times? 9 seasons.
5 seasons. No, well, because you're baiting me. 3.
It's 2.
What?
He has not played more than 70 games in a season since the 2018-2019 season.
Oh, well, this is just bet on Jaylen Brown.
My point is, if Jaylen Brown ends up missing, like he usually does, 15 to 20 games, they have serious problems. Because I don't trust him to stay healthy.
15 to 20, if he misses 15 games, what is their record in those 15 games? I mean, they could get to by the way, they could get to a horrible part of the season.
You'll get a random Pritchard game in there where he'll drop 30. Like, there are a couple games.
Do they win 5 games without him?
I would say no. I think that's a 3-12.
This is a really comically low win total, though. Yeah. All right. You made a good point.
Saying,
I was about to take the over. I really was about to take the over.
If Jaylen Brown gets hurt like he normally does every season, this team has serious problems.
You made a good point. I really was going to give them credit and take the over. I really was, Scott. I was going to go back to I don't have to like this team to say that they're going to get over their win total. But, yeah, if Jaylen Brown gets hurt, same screw. I don't know. Anthony Simons? Who's leading this team after that?
Yeah, Simons, we know, is a terrible defensive player. He's going to be shooting a bunch of threes off the bench. Hauser's going to be shooting. Shireman's going to be shooting a bunch.
Peyton Pritchard's not consistent. He can be good for you at times, but he'll give you a weak stretch and then he'll disappear.
I mean, Boucher's been a backup on the Raptors for his entire career. Now he's supposed to start, apparently. I actually like Keita, but a big reason why they succeeded was because Porzingis helped them space the floor.
Yep.
Keita does none of that. He's a good rim protector, but he's not a floor spacer. So I don't actually know what Keita's role is supposed to be on this team offensively. And you have Garza as well. They have a lot of issues in the front court. Besides Tatum not being there, the front court's a mess. Their starting center right now is Keita, who I think is good, but that's not the same. So I think I'll go under because I just don't trust Jaylen Brown's health. If Brown was guaranteed to play 70-plus games, I might take the over. But I don't trust him to play 70-plus games. So I'll go under on Boston.
All right. Who's next? We got
Philly.
Oh, yeah. With a 42.5 win total. Won 24 games last year. Health is always the equation with Philly.
By the way, Freesell's mentioning same thing I mentioned with the Pacers. There is a chance maybe Boston tanks, tries to get a top pick, and then adds them to the fold next year. That could be an option too.
Yeah.
So,
and that would sound very much like Boston.
I mean, it's smart. So.
All right. Hey, VJ Edgecombe. Welcome to Philly. Kyle Lowry's still there and working for Amazon at the same time.
Which is hilarious, by the way.
But yeah, man. I mean,
comes down to health.
If they're healthy, they'll win games. Do you want to? Is this the year that you want to bet on the health of the Philadelphia 76ers or not? Last year it was really bad, and so if you take the law of averages, it shouldn't be anywhere near as bad last year.
Also pointing out Jared McCain already injured, having thumb surgery. So they're already missing a guy.
I really just want to fade and say they're not going to be healthy. Because if they're healthy, will they be a 500 team? Yeah, probably.
It's such a low number for a bad Eastern Conference, but is Paul George washed? We can have conversations. He's called Podcast P now for a reason. Embiid, we know, similar story, whether he's healthy or not. Philly's going to be wrapping him in bubble wrap the entire season. He might not play back-to-backs. There's a lot of questions with the health of this team.
I feel like that Philly is so we have such a bad taste in our mouth about Philly because we know how this ends.
I like it because I kept taking the unders and that kept working out for me. So,
but
yeah.
I think
there's a ceiling there if everything goes right, but everything never goes right.
If Joel Embiid plays games, Joel Embiid probably has enough to beat a good amount of teams in the East.
Yeah,
doesn't mean he's going to win a championship or that the 76ers are even going to be good. But they'll beat the Hornets.
Beat the Wizards, beat the Nets.
They'll beat the Bucks.
I think they're better than the Bulls. Question mark?
Question mark on the Heat.
Yeah.
But if it's question mark on the Bulls and the Heat, you're right there about around 500.
Yeah. Well, Bulls were 32.5, but we think they're going to.
Yeah, we think they're being really hard. They're being really hard on our Bulls here.
They don't realize how unwilling that front office is to tank.
They don't want to take it all. They're being really hard on the Bulls here. So, if we think they're all about 500, I really don't want to say over. I really don't. But, the numbers add up. If they win 43 games, it doesn't mean they're good.
Well, I'll ask you, if they're going to win 43 games, how many games played does Embiid need to have?
Oh, he's got to be eligible for the award.
Okay. So he needs at least 65, according to
if he's not eligible for any awards this year, then this team is going to suck.
I think we're both picking Embiid to probably not reach 65.
I mean, I think not. So again, he has the years where he doesn't play at all. Then he has the years where he just.
But he's going into the season not playing back-to-backs anyway.
Yeah,
which is already going to take away. I don't know how many back-to-backs they have this season, but that's already a handful of games there.
It is, and then
there'll be a random foot injury because there always is.
And it's whether he just plays through it or. Yeah, he goes back.
That's my point. I think Embiid's going to be somewhere in the 40s or 50s.
I just think taking under on Philly is too easy. It's too easy.
Go contrarian. Take it. You can do it if you want to. I'm going to pass. I do want to point out, though, Maxey and Edgecombe could be absolutely dangerous together, and I'm looking forward to watching them play. But I think I'd rather watch them play those two guys when Embiid doesn't play.
Joel Embiid, he thinks he's MVP. You got to play 65 games. You got to play at least 65.
That's not. I don't think that's happening. Embiid got an MVP. That's kind of my thoughts on his accolades at this point.
All right.
I'm on the under. I think this team's going to be injured again. I don't know what Paul George has left. So it's a whole separate conversation. They're paying a lot of money to two guys that are very unreliable.
You're never going to get complaints from me about fading Philly. I'll take the under two. I'll take the under two. All right. Next team up. Last team up. New York Knicks. I mean.
New coach.
Very dangerous spot the Knicks here with a 53.5 win total.
Actual expectations.
Mike Brown.
Two-time coach of the year.
Well, at very least, the Knicks will play very good transition defense. So they get rid of Campaign. Thank God.
Yep. Indiana paid him for his services.
Malcolm Brogdon, Jordan Clarkson joined the team. Gershon Yabusele is going to join the team. And very much you can already see that there's a new sheriff in town. Because it looks like
Brogdon might be healthy for 10 games, but I like Brogdon as a player when he's actually healthy.
And the fact that now they have a bench of McBride, Clarkson, Yabusele, Mitchell Robinson, it's very clear that they're actually going to be playing their bench players.
Mm-hmm.
which now opens up a world of possibilities for the Knicks. At the end of the day, the Knicks are a very good, well-together put unit that now inserts a new coach that can breathe life. They may play better defensively. I don't really think that they'll fall off too much. And then all you got to do is just coast this team throughout the whole regular season and just pray that nobody gets hurt. But just coast with them. Because more often than not, you're probably going to win a lot of these games. And if you ever get into a point where it's a close game, hey, Cap, there's the ball.
Clutch player of the year.
Can you steal this one for us?
He won clutch player of the year for a reason.
I mean, I just think it's going to be very hard any given night to beat the Knicks.
I agree.
Any given night, I think it's going to be extremely hard to beat this team that, one, extremely disappointed with themselves of how they lost in the playoffs. They made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They were right there on the edge. They felt like they had the chance, and then it all came crashing down yet again to the Pacers. I mean, it's nothing but blood on the mind of the New York Knicks here. And then a confidence, an air of confidence, it seems like, in this team too. Like, in just the players. Like, they're like, oh, yeah, we're really good, and we understand we're really good. This doesn't feel like any other season of New York Knicks basketball. This feels
I'm going to ask, though, for the entire Eastern Conference, I know we saved them for last. Best starting five?
Yeah, easily.
Save the best starting five. You have Brogdon for maybe 10, 15 games, but Brogdon's good when he plays. McBride's not bad. They got Jordan Clarkson.
Who can give you some good points off the bench.
As a bench player can help. I'm looking forward to the Jordan Clarkson-Mike Breen rivalry now that he's actually on the Knicks. But you got Yabusele, who I think is also a pretty solid bench player as well. Mitchell Robinson, who when healthy we know can be phenomenal defensively. He game-wrecked the entire Celtics. That's why they kept intentionally fouling him, because he was disrupting so much of what they wanted to do. I mean, Shamet and Matthews, I think, can be pretty decent three-point shooters off the bench if they need to go that deep. I like this team a lot. Now, I don't know how good Mike Brown is, but I think most of his struggles are postseason related. I think regular season-wise, they're going to be very good. So I like the over.
And let's talk about that. Free Sauce is saying that you can't have a top defense with Cat and Brunson on the floor simultaneously. That's for the playoffs. A lot of these teams have no idea how to attack that. They have no idea what they're doing. Do you think the Charlotte Hornets are going to do anything about that?
And they won 51 last year as well. And the Eastern Conference got a lot worse. I mean, you're thinking of Indiana, thinking of Boston, bunch of teams that won a bunch of games. There are a lot of wins now that are up for grabs.
Yeah.
I think the Knicks take them.
And they can compete with the good teams of the league.
I think they got a shot at 60, to be honest, but I'm going to say they don't get there. I'll say 57.
I say they're shooting for it and they come up just short. Literally just short. They're looking for one more win and it's just not there. 59.
But unlike other teams in the East, if they do get some injuries, they're so deep they could handle it. So I got the Knicks going over.
It's not how they were built before.
Yeah. But I like their bench in general for a regular season team. I like their starting five. Mike Brown's a good regular season coach. I like the over.
You can't fire Tom Thibodeau and go under this win total. You can't. You cannot fire Tom Thibodeau and go under this win total.
And people are going to say the defense, but a reminder that Tibbs was the coach last year and the defense wasn't very good. So I don't know if it matters that much defensively who's the coach. I agree that Brunson and Cat against very good teams are going to get torched in a playoff series. But when you play them on a random Wednesday, they're going to overwhelm you with their effort and depth.
Yeah.
So I like the over on the Knicks. I got 57.
All right. Best bets. Oh, well, wait. Let's close out this division. I mean, it's clear the Knicks are going to win the division, right?
Yeah, I got the Knicks. The best team by a mile in this division.
Okay, great. All right, best bets.
And Terrell rage quits right when we're at best bets. I'll start. I'll go with the New York team that I root for. My best bet, Nets under 20.5. When the owner comes out and says we had a high draft pick last year and we're basically aiming for another one this year, this team's going to tank. So the Nets, I'm going under. There are 3 very, very good top prospects that could be viewed as franchise changers. I don't know if Boozer is going to be as good as advertised. We'll see. The point is, though, there are 3 guys who can be viewed as being can't-miss prospects. The Nets will be tanking. So the Nets best bet under 20.5. Number's way too high. this team will win like 16 games. I'm on the under for the Nets. I do like the Knicks over as well. I think the Knicks end up getting there. I think the Knicks at their current win total does feel pretty low to me. I'll go for the over on that at 53.5 as well. And you know what? I'll throw in one more for my win totals. I'm going to do 3 best bets. Nets under 20.5, Knicks over 53.5. And I'll go with Miami. Give me Miami 37.5. They're a classic Miami built play-in 41-41 team. 37.5 is too low. Give me the over on Miami. What's your 3?
Miami over 37.5. Lock. Bulls over 32.5. They just don't understand them. They don't understand the fact that the Bulls make the play-in.
The Bulls are too dumb to tank. They're just going to keep trying.
And that's why their fan base hates them. So, lock over there.
I did 3, so you can throw in one more if you want.
So, do I want the Nets?
Just take the Nets. Just take the Nets. Come on.
The Nets is very low-hanging fruit. Very low-hanging fruit. But I will give the people one extra different bet because you already took the Nets. And so I will take Detroit over 45.5.
Okay. There we go.
Everybody else is so far down, and Detroit staying the same is probably the best thing for them, if we're being honest. Sometimes teams play themselves out of it trying to make some main changes. Detroit staying the same is the best thing.
You went for more teams in the middle of either being really good or really bad. I tend to be an extremist when it comes to win total stuff.
Yep.
I'll bet the good teams be very good. I'll bet the bad teams to be absolutely terrible. And it usually works out. So I'm doing that with the Knicks and the Nets.
All right. Anything else to repeat before we get up out of here?
Yes, we got the Western Conference coming up tomorrow.
All right. With that, that's it. He's at Reichel Radio. I'm at @reallyraw__. Make sure you give us a follow on X. And other than that, yeah, that's it. Nothing else to say. Nothing else to do. No other way of ending the podcast. Just ending like this. We are out of here.